Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Enigmatica 2 Expert. So, we are back to progression today. I could have built a little bit longer. I'm actually recording this before, the server tours are even all fully up. But I wanted to go ahead and get into what we're going to be doing today, and I also wanted to show you guys the work that's been going on here since we started the server tours. I've been building and building and building a lot. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's pop downstairs. First up, down here, I have added, I don't actually have these plugged up at the moment because I haven't went mining, and, I just basically crafted them and set them up, but I did finish this little wall of machines that's going to be our ore processing. Of course, this bottom row is running. These four and these two thermal centrifuges are not currently running. I mean, I don't really have the power set up to support that, so I was like, I'll just wait. But I got them crafted at least. So that way, before long, I can start cleaning up that wall there. Over here, I have done this. Basically, these are MFSU charge pads. And if you stand on them, they will charge anything in your inventory that can be charged. And that includes worn armor, tools, stuff like that. So for example, let's grab our obscurator, let's grab our crop analyzer, and I have 9 of these set up. Originally, I really only wanted to go with like a 2x2, but going with just 4 didn't work because I have an uneven number of blocks between this pillar and this pillar, so I had to do a 3x3. It's the OCD in me. So basically, the nice thing about having at least a 2x2 of these is you can stand in the middle of this, and you can see all 4 of these are kicking on, and you can see it's charging up 4 times as fast as a single MFSU would charge up stuff. So you do kind of get a speed boost doing that. So just a faster way to charge, and this way I kind of have like a little DDR floor of charge pads that I can hang out on and charge up all my equipment. So, then these are just linked up. These back 3 are plugged up to wires that run from over here. I'll pop back there in just a second and show you. But then they basically send their power off in this direction. Down this line. So I also crafted up this right here. This is a charging Lapotron crystal. It stores 40 million EU, and you can use it for like remote charging. Like we can grab it, and if you right click it, like right now it says disabled. If I was to right click that, it would be, and set it to enabled, it would charge up my armor and my equipment and stuff that uses EU. So 40 million EU in the field is pretty nice. These things are a little bit expensive because you do have to tier them up. So, there is that. Also worth noting in this pack, you cannot scan MFSUs and replicate them. So I had to craft all of these. Fun times. Over here, you can see I've changed over to glass fiber cable. Now it's still plugged up to the CESU, but we did change over to glass fiber just because it has a little bit less EU loss per block, and I don't know, it's just better to have it. And I also sped up all of our machines. So most of our machines are running about 10 overclockers. Of course, the induction furnace does not accept overclocker upgrades in IC2 Experimental. In IC2 Classic, it does. The induction furnace is way better in Classic, but, this is Experimental, so we can't do it. Metal Former only has 8 overclockers in there. Block Cutting has 9. Fluid Solid has 8. Thermal Centrifuge only has 3 right now, and then this has 8. I was making some more, but I have ran out of templates. That's fine. I can replicate those. It's not a big deal. But if we pop back in behind the wall here, you can see that I have been setting up radioisotope thermoelectric generators. Now each of these have 3 RTGs, so they're all outputting 32 EU. And then if we pop down underneath the floor, which I actually have a bit of plutonium built up as well, but I have to craft up more radioisotopes, and I don't know, I just haven't done it yet. I can let it build up for a little while, then mass produce them. So basically the radioisotopes feed over into this. And then also the radioisotopes and the CESU can feed down into the MFSUs that are over there. So that's the way that's laid out. And then lastly for this floor, another thing worth noting is if we take a look at UU matter, look at this. We have 25 buckets of UU matter. And both replicators are filled up. I did plug up the fluid conduits to this one. And of course this one was already plugged up. So these are just running. They're tearing stuff up and everything's been running great since, we set all that up. So this is 100% perfect, and it's great. And also back in here, I do have some radioisotopes set up back here. So there's 2 right there, there's 1, there's 1, and then there's 2 back in there on the other side. So altogether, 6 radioisotopes in here right now, and I will probably end up adding more. Also, you'll notice my hearts. I have, if we take a look at size food list, we've eaten 600 unique foods. You sadly cannot gain any more life, or hearts, or whatever it says. So that is the maximum amount of hearts that we can have. Well, yeah, I think so. Unless we get some way to get like the like extra hearts or something. But that's all we can do with PAMs and the cyclic heart containers. That's it. Plus the toughness buff here from our nutrition. And then if we pop down, I did change all this glass over to the framed glass panes from Quark. I think they look much better, and they kind of fit the theme of the build, I think, a bit more. So I did change all those over to the framed glass panes. So just a heads up on that. If we head downstairs, look at this. We have framed glass panes there. The kitchen area, it hasn't changed a whole lot. I mean, I put some little pillars here, but I am going to be working in here. I just haven't yet. I've been working out in the garden area. It's not totally done. Today, I used up about 3,000 or 4,000 greatwood leaves, and I have to go out and harvest some more. And I think the next time I harvest them should be enough to finish out this area. But if we pop down here, this is what it looks like so far. This is, of course, the little pixie hovels from Ice and Fire. This is a paper lamp from Quark. I'm thinking about using that as my lighting. However, the ropes from Rustic that I was wanting to use don't actually work on greatwood leaves. You cannot place them, so I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to do a little chisel and bits rope that kind of just hangs down and holds these paper lamps up. I do think I like those, but I'm going to play around with a couple other lights and just make sure those are the ones I want to go with. Over here, this side's just decorative, and it's not totally done. I've got to do some architecture craft up there. Over here, I have set up this little area. I mentioned this actually during the server tours. These are magic beans from Cyclic. That's what all of that is, and that floating dirt block's just temporary. So anyways, I've got magic beans set up here, and I've got a harvester right back here that harvests everything, same way we've set them up in the past. And the magic beans, I do have some things pumping out, mainly pumpkins, beet seeds, things like that I've already got being farmed over there. This is feeding into the drawer system for the farm area. So anything that can go there will. But you can see that magic beans, we can produce all kinds of things. There's blaze rods, blaze powder, cakes. There's actually chorus plants that come from this, which we are going to be using today. Diamonds, emeralds. This is all stuff that's coming from the magic beans. Gas tiers are somewhere's 42 of those. But you can see, all the different dyed glass and terracotta and wool and all that stuff can come from this. It's not a ton of stuff coming in. It's not super fast. But the nice thing is things like this are building up. Comparators, lamps, repeaters that you use. You always hate crafting them. They can come from this. Flowers and all this just different junk basically is coming from this. Cauldrons, it's handy to have. It's handy to have. So I did get that little area set up there, and then I just did a lot of work with leaves and just going through, adding lots of lushness to this. Not every place has been touched up yet. You can see some barren grass right there. Back in here, we have the ground traps are down under here. Let's see, if we come through over to here, you can see I've brought the leaves around. And it actually kind of makes the place look so much better without all that just barren, naked stone exposed everywhere. Right? Just adding the leaves up here has made this area look so much better, I think. And then... I also have to do this little pathway. I have to do the chisels and bits up here. And then figure out exactly what blocks I want to use down through here. But that's not a biggie. And then back, if we go over here, of course this is where our pumpkin or our melons are being farmed. I also started adding in the herbs from Rustic. So there's chamomile, aloe vera, ginseng, cloud's bluff, wind thistle, cohosh, and horsetail. And then there's like 5 more herbs I need to get planted here. So I have space for whenever I find those. And then I just kind of like spruce this little area up a little bit. And then if we head on back, this is the area I think I spent the most time on, I do believe. It's not totally done, but look at this. This water is, once again, that cobblestone's going to get pulled off. We're going to have a waterfall that runs down. But I have been working on this area a bit. And by the way, the cyclic building scepter is great for doing these like leaves that are hanging down. It's so good. So good. So if we come through, this side is done. That side you can see the fountain. I haven't put the fountain in yet. But we actually have all 16 colors of Botania tall flowers. So 8 over here, 8 on the opposite side there. This is where our tree farm is going to go. Right down there. And then if we come through, this area still has a lot of work to do, as you can tell. And it comes down to this. And then we cross this little area. I think these bridges were already done. I think you guys have seen those. And then there's going to be that chasm that runs down there. And then all this has to get shaped up and done. But and then it comes into here. And then it's going to come out over here into the chasm area. But this is all very much work in progress. It is better than it was. But it's still, I mean, it's just such a big area of the base. I mean, this garden area is massive. I mean, if you just take a look at the map, I mean, it's all of this. This huge area is all garden. Actually, yeah, that too. So all of this. But I have been knocking it out since the last episode. Once this whole area is done, like I got to put lights and some decor and finish the leaves and do some chisels and bits and do a little bit of work on these, but it's getting there. And once this is done, this is actually going to be one of the 4 different segment type areas of the base completely done. There's no more garden area that's going to be built. This is it. So, I'm getting there. I'm quickly getting there. So, okay. So, anyways, the first thing that I want to do this episode, and I know that little tour took a little while, but we had a lot to look at because it's been a while since our last like progression type episode, right? But the first thing I want to do today is I want to finish these quests. All we have left is the electric jetpack. I want to finish that this episode. First up. And then we're going to upgrade to the quantum chest piece. And then we'll be completely quantumed out and life will be great. And then I won't have to switch to hazmat suit anymore. I can just wear quantum and it's just going to be good. We looked at this before. It's not all that expensive overall. I mean, a backpack, not that bad. The elytras where it got us because we have to go to the end or we have to craft an elytra. Diamantine crystals, we should have those. Which we do. And I've actually got blocks of diamantine. And originally I was planning on going to the end this episode, but we actually don't have to do it. So, all the better. We can just put off the end until we actually need to go there for something. And then we're going to have to get ourselves a leather chest piece. We are going to have to get a couple banners. Just white banners, and then we're going to have to get some popped chorus fruit, which is fairly easy to do since we have the magic beans set up. And by the way, the magic beans, they are craftable. That's how you get them, and they're very cheap. Seeds, pumpkin seeds, melon seeds, beetroot seeds, netherwort, and an emerald, which emeralds in this pack are free thanks to Pam's Harvest Craft. So, I mean, it's pretty much a freebie. Of course, normally villagers make them pretty well free as well, but I actually have just enough white wool there. I mean, I can get more. That's not a problem, but and then we need the chorus fruit. By the way, these are the modular storage blocks. So, just a heads up, I have tier 3 storage in them. Tier 3 storage is, I guess, somewhat expensive, but it's actually not that bad, in truth. So, let's pop over here. Let's get ourselves a piece of endstone. Throw down our chorus plant, break it. And there we go. We got ourselves a piece of chorus fruit. Which apparently I have not eaten yet, but I don't really need to. And then we'll pop down here, and we're going to pop it. There we go. And guess what? We can make ourselves... I don't know what else. For some reason, I don't know. I was thinking that I needed 6 of them, I guess, but... Okay, so electric jetpack. There is our Elytra. So there's that. Sky's the limit. Okay. Now we need to upgrade this. We are going to have to get ourselves a backpack. Some steel item casings and advanced circuits, which I should have... Okay, well, I thought I had some steel plates around here. But actually, while we're going up there, let me take a look at the quantum chest piece. To make this, we are going to need the electric jetpack, the flux infused chest plate, a lapotron crystal, and then 2 of the iridium reinforced plates. So we're going to need altogether 8 iridium ore. And of course, I've got some iridium right here. But it's not going to be enough, of course. I'm going to have to order a little bit of iridium ore. So we'll toss that into the compressor. There we go. And then the replicator, let's go ahead and tell it to make some iridium. I only need 3 pieces, so... What's 100 millibuckets? That's not too bad, really. Okay. I'll get that stuff going, and then I'm going to get the stuff prepped up for the jetpack. And I'm going to go ahead and make the lapotron crystal as well. We should have plenty of, like, the advanced circuits. Oh, there's my steel plates. Okay. Here we go. And watch this. It's so much nicer having fast machines than those, like, slow, piddly machines that we had before. It makes life so much better. Okay, I should have everything together now. So, if we open this up, electric jetpack, there's that. That is done. Quest complete, electric jetpack, and there we go. Let's take our loot chest. Done. And that means the IC2 quests are 100% done. Our very first completed tab. And we got 3 reinforcement modifiers. Little late on those, I think. I don't have a whole lot of need for those. And then if we want to go ahead and upgrade this quantum chest piece, we are going to need, that flux chest piece. And then we're going to have to make the 2 iridium reinforced plates. And then we can get our quantum chest piece. There we go. And I got an extra electronic circuit. Okay, and I'm going to, let's see. I guess I can just throw this on and stand here. It's going to take a little bit to charge it, but I'll be back whenever it's fully charged. Okay, this is fully charged now. So let's go ahead and switch out, and we are now rocking full quantum armor. And that means we have, I mean, you can see with the armor down there above my hearts, we have over 100% damage reduction. And we also have, since we got the quantum chest piece, we have flight. And there is a hover button. Let's see. The hover button is right here, the mode switch key. That's your hover button. And if you want to hover, you just hit the ascend button and the mode switch key at the same time. If you want to turn it off, hit them both at the same time again, and it'll shut it off. So, in my case, you know, it's spacebar and 2 on the numpad to do hovering. So, but we do now have a jetpack at long last, and we have flight. And I can actually build, you know, with the hover mode, which is quite great, actually. It would have helped in certain places, but I had the building scepter from Cyclic for doing the ceiling, so it actually wasn't too bad, because you can just the building scepter, I could place a block way down there, like it's like a 70 block range or 60 block range or something. I think it actually says on here. Yeah, max range 64 blocks. So I mean, it's pretty nice for building. And the next thing I want to do is I want to get our Floo network set up. That way we can start teleporting around, you know, to other people's bases. I know a couple people on the server have gotten their Floo network set up. And so what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make ourselves, first up, some Floo powder, because we're going to have to use that for making basically anything that's you know, related to the Floo network. And out of curiosity, does this get gunpowder? And these magic beans, technically we can't craft them yet. There we go. You do have to lay it out just like that. The magic beans, though, the way you get these, if you take a look here, You get them from the phytogenic insulator. I think they can come from loot boxes as well. I believe there's a couple people on the server that got them actually from the loot chests, you know, from doing progression. But normally they'll spawn in the world, but in this pack they do not. But if you want to grow these, you can just hit them with bone meal, like place them down the ground. I've actually got a couple placed down right over here. Like there's one, you can hardly see it right there, and then there's a couple more. But if you just use bone meal on these, you'll get a bean, you know, like every time. And the flue powder goes pretty far, honestly. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we need to make the flue sign. Is the next thing. So it's flue powder just around a sign. So there's our sign. And we'll get our flue powder. There we go. Now we've got ourselves a flue sign. And then what we're going to need to get is, we don't actually have to have this, but I'm going to go ahead and get some flue tokens so that I can show you what those do. So let's go ahead. These are quite handy, honestly. And, oops. There we go. There's a flue token. And then we're going to need to get ourselves a few bricks. I am going to end up building out like a full fireplace. But to actually get this started, we don't have to have like a complete fireplace. Basically just some bricks laid down as if they would be a fireplace. So let's go ahead and just grab these. And there's 13 brick blocks. That'll be enough for right now. And I'm going to pull these up right here, because I'm actually not going to use this as a balcony anymore. I actually made the ceiling a little bit lower than originally what I was planning on doing. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're just going to build our bricks out. And I'm going to go ahead and build out another line and another line right there. And then what we need to do is we're going to take our flue sign and we need to go name this in an anvil. And we're going to name it with the name that we want our flue network to be under. So we're going to call this, let's change this to Pirate Cove. That's the name of our flue network. And then what we can do is we can just take our flue sign back over here. And we're just going to right click. And whenever you teleport to the flue network, this is something to note, it's going to put you in the opposite direction, like facing the opposite direction that you were facing whenever you made the network. So we don't want to stand right here and do it because it would have us facing the back end of the fireplace. So we're going to just right click right there. And there we go. That's where our flue network is going to be. This 3x3. And you can make them smaller or larger, you know. It's basically just all those connected bricks. That's going to be your flue network. And then what we can do is we can come in here holding flue powder. We can walk inside of here. And we're going to just type, you see a demonic rapier really quick. You can see it says it whispers to me. I'm hungry, feed me, hack and slash, hack and slash. That's because I upgraded, you remember that demon metal that we made a while back and we were going to make a rapier out of it? I upgraded that. And I'll show you here in just a second. I'll pop over there and show you that. But what we're going to do is we're going to hold our flue powder and we're just going to type into chat. We're going to say you. You don't have to really type anything the first time. So we're going to do that and it's going to teleport us. And there we go. We have teleported to RDFA's base. And the name of it is RDFA. And so then if we wanted to go home, we could just stand inside of his fireplace and we could type Pirate Cove. And it's going to take us back home. And then if I wanted to go back to RDFA's base, I could do that. And it's going to take you to the place that is the closest name to what you type. Actually, I'll show you how the tokens work. But these are kind of nice because let's say I'm out in the world exploring. I'm not near a fireplace. I don't want to use my ender book. What I can do is I can just throw this on the ground, just one of them, and we'll give it just a second. And we're going to get a really cool bit of particles, and my magnet started to collect it. It makes a fireplace, and I can just stand inside of this, and then I can type Pirate Cove. There we go. Takes me back home. And so what I'm going to do right here is right next to this, we're going to make a desk. Okay, so there's our desk. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves a written book. Okay, so there's our book and quill. And then what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and open this up. We're going to call this List of Known Flue Fireplaces. And we're going to put in Spawn. We're going to put in RDFA. And I know there's a couple others. Well, I'm going to find them. I'm going to get them all. But what we can do is, if we come over here, let's take our desk and let's set this up like right here. And we're going to put our book and quill in that central slot. So it's going to put our book down, and there we go. And then if I want to add stuff to this, I can just pull it off. I can type it in, and then I can put it back on here. And then, you know, we'll have a list of all the known flue spots that we can go to. I think another one that we can go to is a place, I think. Yeah. So that's one of them. And I mean, if I need to put descriptors in this, I can. But I think I'll be alright, because most of these are pretty self-explanatory. And I know there's one that's like super long. I'll tell you what, RDFA has a lot of them. I think it's Solar Hunt's base, I think, that has the really long name. Tall Tree is Lucrans. And Kokyu is Kokyus. And then there's the New Order of the Holy Dragon. Okay, let me warp home then. Okay, I gotta make a new page because Solar Hunts is so long. And there we go. So now we've got 2 pages started, and then as I get more Flue networks, I can add more to it. And you don't have to capitalize everything, by the way. It doesn't really matter how you do it. So for example, if I come in here and I do New Order of the Holy Dragon, like that, there we go. That's the New Order of the Holy Dragon. Which, by the way, Solar Hunt has moved since the server tour. He's been setting up this new base here. So just a heads up. But and then if we warp over to, say, Tall Tree. There we go. Now we're in Lucran space. And so we can kind of pop around and we can set up Flue networks all over the place if we want. I'm going to try setting one up in the Nether because I'm not for sure if they work cross-dimensionally. You know, I've never actually tried using them cross-dimensionally, in truth. And I'm not 100% sure if they do work or not. But if they do, that would be quite great. We'll try putting one right over here. Okay. So I'll put down some bricks. I've named this one Nether. There we go. And let's try this. Let's do Pirate Cove. You are already at your destination. Nether. Pirate Cove. Yeah, you can't use them cross-dimensionally. So that's good to know. But you can use them in the overworld. And we're going to be using one of these to make our Thaumcraft life a bit easier. Because I am going to do Thaumcraft initially, at least. I'm going to do a lot of that off-site so we don't get flux in our base. And so we are going to set up a Flue network that connects over to that. So you have to admit that's pretty cool, right? And it's really not very expensive. I mean, Flue is like super cheap. But I think that's all the ones that RDFA has. And then, oh, I think Joe Mega's got one. Yep, Joe Mega's got one. So there we go. And so now we've got everybody's that I know of. And then as other people add them, you know, we can add more to this. And then I'm going to have, you know, the pirate, I guess, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead just because I can. And I'm going to put in Pirate Cove. That's mine, so there we go. And so then we can kind of use that for warping around the overworld. And I wouldn't mind actually using these to go out further and further and further with exploration too. And saving spots. Because, I mean, you get 16 teleports for a piece of redstone, gunpowder, ender pearl, and a magic bean. So it's actually super cheap. Super, super cheap. So it'll make for really easy teleportation around, you know, between bases and everything. So anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode, though, so I am going to end this one out here. Next episode, when we come back, we are going to finish up the very last thing that we're going to do before we start moving into new mods, and that is the tree farm. We're going to set that up. It's actually probably not going to take very long, so there's a pretty good chance that we may start into some new mods next episode. Of course, our new mods being Forestry, Immersive Engineering, and Thaumcraft. So we'll start getting into these. I mean, these aren't actually... I mean, Thaumcraft, there's a lot to it. Forestry and Immersive Engineering are overall pretty quick. There's also a chance that we may sprinkle in a little bit of AE2, like start some very basic AE2 stuff as we work on these next 3 mods. And then also something to note, the magic mods are very heavily intertwined with one another. So Thaumcraft, Astral Sorcery, Botania, and Blood Magic, there might be some jumping around as we start getting further and further into those. So just a heads up on that. But that's the current plan. We'll see how it goes and we'll kind of roll with it. Oh, and actually one thing I almost forgot to show you guys. I want to show you just really, really quick. I did change this over to UU matter. So our Smeltery is UU matter. Now whenever you add UU matter to this, you're going to have to break your controller and replace it because it doesn't register. Like if you just put UU matter in there in place of lava, it's going to say that you're using lava and it's not really going to work right. So make sure you break and replace your controller. Okay, I'm just going to grab 4 cobblestone. That demon metal, though, if you recall back when we made it forever ago, I said that we were going to have to wait because in order to get the molten demon metal, we needed a temperature of at least 2150. UU matter, of course, trumps that by quite a bit because UU matter has a temperature of 9,300 Kelvin. So it's more than enough to melt down demon metal, so I just upgraded the sword. But for example, if you want to see the speed difference, you know, lava is what it is. If you throw in cobblestone with UU matter, it's a lot quicker. And I mean, we're not running it a full 20 TPS right this second either. We've got quite a few people on. So, I mean, it takes about, whenever you have 20 TPS, it takes about 2 seconds or so to melt down cobblestone. I mean, it's super fast. Super fast with UU matter. So, anyways, just a heads up on that. I wanted to show you guys that because it is a major upgrade to be able to run it in the Smeltery. And then here soon, I'm actually going to have to make another portable tank, probably tomorrow morning. I'll probably make a new one, because that's going to back up. And we want to get as much UU matter. I mean, I could upgrade it or enchant it. I'm probably just going to make a new one for right now. That'll be fine. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.